Hello. Hi. Thank you. I hope you all enjoyed your lunch break, and thank you so much for coming back in the afternoon. Before we kick off our afternoon panels, I'd like to ask Peter Bosch, the Chief Executive of CARIAD, to join me on stage. Thank you. Thank you. So before we start off the new sessions, I wanted to do a little bit of ask you for some of the takeaways from the morning sessions, and then a little bit of a look ahead for what's ahead later in the sessions. Peter, I mean, we had our opening session, and we talked about both the past and the present strategy of CARIAD and Volkswagen Group as a whole. But maybe we can start off with, what was your biggest, I guess, highlight from the morning discussion?
I think what struck me most was the energy in the room. Yeah, looking around with like lots of guests, but especially partners who we work together, and also members of the Volkswagen Group family, who all stood behind the big message of Oliver Blume, that we are aspiring to lead again in technology, and that we've defined our company as the global automotive tech driver. This is a strong message, and I think we announced that sometime in March during the annual press conference, but now it's really being filled with life during the IAA Mobility and here on the Volkswagen stand. And I think this energy was really visible. I could feel it, and I think it will give us a lot of tailwind for the next months and years to come.
Do you think you persuaded the audience that Volkswagen and CARIAD are back in software?
I think, I said this morning, we really came from the very bottom. We had a really tough learning curve, but now products are winning tests. Volkswagen Group is seen as is scientifically been proven to be the most innovative car manufacturer, and software is a big part of it. Cars are selling extremely well. 8 out of 10 best-sold cars in Germany in the BEV sector are from the Volkswagen Group and have our own software. So that's really positive. And I mean, coming from operations, it's working again, and coming from the top that we have a great group strategy. Oliver announced our software strategy as part of the group tech driver, and this is the group software stack. We saw it first time today in public, and I think many of you can imagine that we always like a simple picture has a lot of work behind it. And that group software stack shows how we approach software. It has 3 global architecture families and has 4 core technologies. You can see it behind me. And if you look into these architecture families, the global architectures are the foundation for the products that you see every day on the road, and also the foundation for all products that are presented here on IAA. For example, like the electric urban car family with ID Polo and ID Cross. They are based on this architecture, and they're full with innovation, like an app store with 100 apps that you know from your daily life, from Spotify over Netflix to FC Bayern or Teams, or mobile device key that's on your phone. You don't need a car key anymore. So this is really where we're striving to bring best technology to our customers. The second architecture family we were talking about this morning was SDV East, where Volkswagen Group, out of the Volkswagen Technology Company in China and CARIAD China, have a license from our joint venture, or from our partner, Xpeng. It's a startup company that's building excellent cars, and where we are coding our own architecture. And this architecture comes to the market already end of this year. So it's not just great decisions and content on paper, but it's real technology. And the third architecture family, of course, is Volkswagen Group's joint venture with Rivian Volkswagen Group Technologies, where we are developing a modern zonal architecture for the Western Hemisphere. And I think in that clarity, we presented it for the first time today, complemented then by 4 technology fields that run across synergetically. And one question you asked was, why did we choose these 4 core technologies? we debated why they're there. Because they're most customer relevant, because they allow most synergies, and Volkswagen Group has always been a scale player looking for synergies, and because there's a lot of strategic tech in there, especially AI that we want to own. And we went this morning through the technologies, and we'll see part of it this afternoon again with ADAS, where we're saying this is the core of the automobile. It's driving. That's something. This is why the group driver stacks are so important to us. That's where we want to own the technology, where we want to drive the technology. And the lead market for ADAS is China at the moment. And more than half of Chinese customers already say, I would change my car brand if there's a better ADAS system. So this is what we're anticipating for the rest of the world. This is the reason why we have the group driver stacks. Group experience stacks is what's broadly known as infotainment, everything you do in the car, conversation with your car, with the AI assistant, the App Store, infotainment system, also our award-winning navigation. These are things where we believe that customers buy a car for that reason. And also if we talk to Gen Z customers, 60% of them see the car as their third living room and want to have the same tech in there.
Yes.
The cloud stacks, that was the third technology we were focusing on, is just every functionality in a car is online today. And we are running the largest automotive digital infrastructure in the world with 45 million cars online. This is the synergy case. And group motion stacks, how a car drives in terms of chassis and propulsion is something, is the reason why people come to us. And there we want to have core competencies. We are having the kind of best team in the world here. You'll hear more about this afternoon. And this is another technology that we will use in our attribute as a platform champion. We will platformize across the group software stack. I think this was the big news this morning, presenting this group software stack to the public. This is the way how we will roll in terms of software.
Thank you. We also talked quite broadly beyond, Volkswagen's software strategy to talk about, the complexities of this global nature of the industry now with various differences across regions. Can we have a single architecture? We also talked about what the potential growth of, what are the opportunities from AI, the virtual technologies, how fast are we going to develop cars? I mean, was there anything that struck you in the other discussions that we've had?
I took a couple of minutes because it was really inspiring panels this morning, and other than you expected. It wasn't pre-scripted. It was like people from Volkswagen Group and from the industry were just debating what we're doing. And I think in that global car OS topic, the fact that software is a scale game, and cars are a scale game, and software is a platform business, and we are a platform champion. This came across very clearly, and they were now leveraging this into a unified car OS, one for the Western, one for the Eastern world. I think Thomas Günther, who's the Chief Launch Officer of CARIAD, launching all the software stacks in our cars, he said what helps him a lot is software parameters, where he can twist software more to feel like a Volkswagen, more like an Audi, more like a Porsche. He also referenced to the group cloud as the ultimate platform behind every platform. I think this is something where we can be proud. I was then really inspired by the discussion of Werner Tietz, our group Volkswagen CTO, and Wasim Ben Said, the co-CEO of Rivian Volkswagen Technologies. They should have talked about technology, but they started talking about culture.
That's true.
You know the saying, culture is eating strategy for breakfast. I think culture is eating technology for breakfast, Right. And they agreed. Rivian brings in a more startup culture. We're bringing in the superpowers of a large group. And how to bring this together, that culture transformation, that came out quite well. And I think this is what we should remind ourselves every morning when we go to work. Also, what I liked, Wasim made a quite great quote. He says, software is not an afterthought. Software now has a seat on the table. So that seat at the table, that software is the core of an automobile and not an afterthought. That was coined this morning by Wasim. And in that round, we also had Beatrice Keim, one of the leading scientists. She referenced a lot about speed that's necessary. And I think the quote of the day already that she made was, she said, "I think we are in a good way, and there's nothing to fear from anybody in the world."
That was a great quote. Yes.
I think the other panel we then listened was how to design a car. Yeah? Not about the car itself, but how to design a car. Hauke Stars, who's our group board member for enterprise IT and also for these design processes. She also came from technology, how important IT and AI are, but she clearly said, if you want to bring that in an organization, you've got to change the organization. You've got to change the processes. Hauke made that very clear. I think that's a lot of organizational experience. She brought in Kai Grünitz, our CTO of the Volkswagen brand, confirmed that. And here again, you started to talk about technology. Before, they deviated to culture, and they deviated to organization. And he, or not deviated, but probably pivoted. And he came up with the customer. Yeah, we were missing the customer almost in that conversation. He said, AI allows us to much better understand customer needs and bring customer requirements into the car in a defined process based on lots of data, and AI can help. And he coined the term of the customer-defined car. Yeah? I really like that, the customer-defined car. Yes. That's what Volkswagen is, a people-defined car. And his insight was also, there's always a pioneering group within an organization that needs to drive it through and then take the whole organization with him. On that panel, we also had Florence Verzelen from Dassault. Dassault provides lots of the tech we're using in our new development processes. She was elaborating a bit, is it easier to do it in a startup who have less integration hurdles and obstacles, or is it easier to do in a large company which has some processes, heritage, and so on? And I think you agreed it's somewhere in the middle, right? And I also noted a quote from Florence. She said, "We are changing the industry forever." That's a biggie as well, right? And if you really do that, I think we can be very happy. So this was the summary of the morning, and this is why I said I was really inspired by the energy in the room, because the energy from all these quotes kind of, we were able to feel it everywhere, and I hope we're bringing that to the afternoon now.
Peter, thank you so much for that great summary of their morning sessions. And we will, of course, be having continuing our discussions. So just quickly, an overview of what's ahead. So for our next session that you will be moderating, we will be discussing about how automation is now moving into the mainstream. Then we will explore the role of software in changing the driving dynamics, followed by a discussion on how the cockpit is now being redefined. Our final session will look into why big companies are turning to corporate incubators to seek growth opportunities outside their core businesses. So please do stay for these afternoon sessions.
Yes.
Peter,
thank you, Kana. I'll take over for this panel. ADAS is our top priority, and that's why I asked Kana myself.
Thank you. I'll leave you to your able hands of Peter.
See you later.
Thank you.
And we will walk more or less to the group software stack this afternoon.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Für mehr Videos einfach abonnieren.